Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
On this week's episode of Raw that saw WWE announce Bobby Lashley vs Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, Lashley vs Sheamus, The New Day become 11-time tag champs, and Riddle retain his United States Championship over Mustafa Ali, Asuka also returned to beat the hell out of Shayna Baszler, nearly stomping her teeth out on an exposed turnbuckle before referees and officials stopped her. That's really cool. Asuka had been out for a few weeks thanks to a wayward Shayna Baszler kick, leading to teeth being forcibly removed from her face. Ow! Reports also indicated that Asuka was dealing with a concussion from the kick, which is altogether unsurprising because again, Asuka had teeth kicked out of her face. Reports even as recently as this past weekend suggested that with recovery times for concussions being so fluid, it could be a while before Asuka was back in the ring, even potentially missing out on WrestleMania 37. Fortunately though, she returned to Raw and seemed to be in perfect condition. However, this isn't quite true. Speaking on the Japanese social networking platform Now Voice, Asuka revealed some more details about her injury, explaining that the teeth she has in place now are temporary and that the injuries she picked up from Baszler will actually take 6 months to heal. After the 6-month period, she'll need to have implants to replace the missing teeth. But Asuka isn't the only wrestler working through an injury, as the unsuccessful challenger to the US title from this week's show, Mustafa Ali, has also revealed that he's got an injury too. In a recent interview with comicbook.com, Ali revealed he has a torn PCL, which stands for posterior cruciate ligament, which is found in your knee. See, mum, I told you my sports degree would come in handy one day. Never believed in me. Unfortunately for inherently flippy boy Ali, you kinda need your knees to do flips and high flying stuff, so he'd had to work around the injury and change up his style. When most people think of Mustafa Ali, they think of the high flyer. Not even as a heel, I'm still kind of known as this athletic performer. I'm not really known as a submission specialist. I'm not really known as a striker. I'm not really known as a guy that could take to the ground. Knowing full well that I have these tools, I never really highlight them because I've got these tools. So this PCL injury has kind of reminded me of like, well yeah, I can't do that, but I'm still capable of all this. As two of Raw's best wrestlers, fingers crossed both Ali and Asuka can recover soon. And speaking of people who've recovered from injuries, at AEW Revolution a couple of weeks ago, Christian Cage was unveiled as AEW's new big signing that was teased as the Hall of Fame worthy talent. This came after Christian returned in the Royal Rumble earlier this year, reuniting in a heartwarming embrace with his longtime friend and tag team partner Edge. Though, actually, now you think back on it, that wasn't so much a welcome back, that was more of a goodbye, wasn't it? Reports from around the time indicated that Christian had held talks with WWE regarding a part-time deal. However, those talks had fallen through, which is why he ended up jumping ship to AEW. Now, Christian himself has revealed that those talks did indeed take place, though perhaps not quite as in-depth as some people had been speculating. Speaking to Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated, he said, "There were some cordial talks and I can't really elaborate beyond that. I'm not sure where their heads were at creatively." He can't elaborate beyond that. Why? Because he's still got some WWE plans in place. Christian Cage is a WWE spy sent to AEW confirmed. I've cracked it, lads. Got it all figured out. Are you happy Christian is in AEW? Or would you rather he stayed in WWE? Let me know in the comments because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. And speaking of people who may or may not be talking to WWE, flawless segue. While Roman Reigns' WrestleMania opponent is seemingly decided in the form of Edge, if he can retain his championship against Daniel Bryan at Fastlane, that is, still time for you to be right, Mr. Good Money Louis Dangle. For a long time it was speculated that with the direction of Roman's character arc and storylines, it could all be leading to a WrestleMania match between himself and The Rock. While it seems that match is off the cards at WrestleMania, it could still happen at a later date, as Paul Heyman revealed in an interview with Give Me Sport that The Rock is among several names who've contacted Heyman regarding a match with Roman Reigns. Crossover celebrities in their prime would love to step into a WrestleMania ring with Roman Reigns. It's not just Dwayne Johnson, The Rock is just one of many. Crossover celebrities in their prime? Bad Bunny vs Roman Reigns confirmed. Of course, the interview was primarily in character, but regardless, the continued mentions of Rock vs Reigns seem to indicate that it may be a direction they head down in the near future. And with crowds returning at WrestleMania this year, perhaps more crowds could be used for future pay-per-views, or even just the next of the big 4 shows at SummerSlam in August, which may help tempt The Rock to appear. But the crowds may be struggling for WrestleMania as well, as it was revealed recently that WrestleMania tickets, which were due to go on sale yesterday, have been delayed indefinitely while WWE works on a new date. Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez speculated on Wrestling Observer Radio the reason for this last-minute change, and while WWE originally wanted a crowd of around 45,000 in attendance for the show, around 75% of Raymond James Stadium's full capacity, that may no longer be the plan, as Meltzer explained. We'll have to see if Vince is gonna go for the full stadium. The plan was 45,000 seats, but that changed obviously because they didn't put tickets on sale. Whether the plans have changed to increase or decrease the planned crowd size, we'll have to wait and see. But regardless, they may need to put the tickets on sale soon anyway, because if they want 45,000 people to come in person for each night, they're gonna need to actually give them time to make plans and stuff. And speaking of irresponsible crowd gatherings during a pandemic, as Mr. Davis spoke about in yesterday's WrestleTalk news, there was a reported outbreak of coronavirus at the Performance Center for the third time, with several wrestlers testing positive and several more being forced to quarantine due to exposure. In an update on the outbreak, it seems the only roster affected will be NXT, according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. I was told it was only NXT people, and enough that whatever it is, the show's being rewritten, and certain things that were planned aren't going to be there, but I don't know what that would be, and they're not going to tell you. Sean Rossap of Fightful Select also weighed in, saying that Leon Ruff versus Swerve Scott and Imperium versus Ciampa and Thatcher were both in danger of being pulled from the show. It's somewhat fortunate that this outbreak was contained within NXT, as with previous outbreaks it had also spread to the Raw and SmackDown rosters. WWE are yet to publicly comment on this outbreak. But enough about talking about serious stuff, let's watch Drew McIntyre swear on WWE TV. Appearing on Raw Talk following Monday's show ahead of his match with Sheamus at Fastlane, Drew got a little carried away with his promo against Sheamus, dropping an F-bomb mid-sentence that had to be censored and covered up by R-Truth.
It would have been simple. Just ask me. Just bloody ask me. Your best friend. You want to do that live on Raw? Sever our friendship. All that Sorry.
Yeah, PG.
Bleep me, please.
Bleep!
Bleep.
Hey, dog, I asked Bad Bunny for my title, I got my back. Ask him. Ask him.
I'm Scottish, I'm so sorry. Sometimes I get carried away.
Drew doesn't play by the rules, cursing on a live show, and the worst offense of all, hitting 2 claymores on Raw where he slapped his leg both times. That's a no-no, Drew. Didn't you get the memo? But someone who's seemingly looking forward to leg slaps being a thing of the past is Jordynne Grace, who's been wrestling in Impact's Knockouts division since 2018. However, she has now expressed her desire to wrestle in WWE, with her current Impact contract expiring in May. Speaking on the Wrestling Perspective podcast, Grace outlined what decisions she may make in the near future. Okay, so yes, WWE was, it still is, it was my childhood dream forever, but that was the only option back when I was growing up. Now it's just like there are so many doors that you can go through, and kind of they're all like in front of you at the same time. So it's kind of a handoff. I love the opportunity that Impact has given me, but obviously it's going to be a lot less money than WWE would give me if I were to go there. And they would give me a lot less input on my character. So it just kind of depends on if I get older and I'm feeling like I need to be stacking some money for retirement, then I think that's a place I would probably go. Grace has been one of the staples of the Knockouts division in Impact, as well as wrestling intergender matches, challenging for the X Division Championship, and is currently on a tag team run with former WWE star Jazz. She would be an asset to whichever company she decides to join. We've got a roundup of all the non-WWE and AEW news coming up shortly with Tempest, but before that, Mickie James, Victoria, and our best friend SoCal Val, as part of their grown-ass women brand, are going to be hosting the inaugural DressleMania event, a charity auction in order to support girlup.org, where celebrities will auction off dresses and gowns, with proceeds going to the charity. You can find out more about it by checking the link in the description. And now, over to Tempest for all the other stuff going on in the wrestling world.
Tempest Indy Roundup, the Storm Report, From East to West, Tempest Flow, Tempest Temporarily in Your Face Show. What? The Eye of the Storm, Tempest Talk, The Brainstorm, Talking Tempest, Tempest Turnbuckle Talk, Tempest Temptations, that's for later tonight, Tempest In Deep. What the f***? What's going on, WrestleTalk friends and fans? It is the Quizlemania fact checker Tempest the Wrestler here, and I'm here to bring you the newest edition of this weekly show that currently does not have a name. Reading through your suggestions, I will pick one, I promise. And of course, I'm here to bring you all of the weekly updates on every bit of pro wrestling that doesn't get enough love around here, so let's kick things off with Impact Sacrifice. There were a number of newsworthy matches coming out of this show, but the biggest news has to be Rich Swann defeating Moose to merge the TNA Heavyweight Championship and the Impact Heavyweight Championship. Swann will now go on to face Kenny Omega for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship at Rebellion on April 24th. But there were a number of notable title changes on this show as well. FinJuice, the tag team from New Japan Pro Wrestling, David Finlay and Juice Robinson became the Impact World Tag Team Champions, defeating the Good Brothers. The Good Brothers will get their rematch as they try and reclaim the Impact World Tag Team Championships at Rebellion. But first, Scott D'Amore made it known that FinJuice will first travel back to Japan, where they will defend the titles. This would insinuate that the Impact World Tag Team titles will be defended on an upcoming New Japan Pro Wrestling show, marking the first time an Impact title will be defended in a New Japan ring in many years. Of course, the other title change that took place at Sacrifice saw Ace Austin capture the X Division Championship, defeating TJP. And the last bit of Impact news, Hardcore Justice will be returning as an Impact Plus special on April 10th. There's nothing else going on that day. Pretty sure. Switching over to New Japan Pro Wrestling, we have an update on the New Japan Cup. One of the semi-final matches has been made official, as Shingo Takagi was able to defeat Kenta in their quarterfinal match, allowing Shingo to move on to face Evil, who took down Toru Yano. Shocking that I for sure had Toru Yano winning the whole thing. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, Will Ospreay will take on Sonata in their quarterfinal matchup. Will Ospreay is currently dealing with 2 broken bones in his nose following his excellent match with Zack Sabre Jr. This is one of the best matches of the entire year. If you have to watch one match from the New Japan Cup, make it this one. 5 stars. Absolutely fantastic. And the final quarterfinal match of the tournament will feature Jay White taking on David Finlay. These two have a lot more history than you might think, as their rivalry dates back to their time as Young Lions. This will be the first time the two have wrestled one-on-one in 3 years. With Ring of Honor's 19th anniversary show on the horizon, they announced 4 additional championship matches for the card. First up, the ROH World Tag Team Championships will be on the line as Kenny King and Dragon Lee defend their titles against Rhett Titus and Tracy Williams. Dragon Lee and Tracy Williams, of course, are pulling double duty on the night, as they will also go one-on-one for the ROH World Television title. Meanwhile, Jonathan Gresham, Ring of Honor's 2020 Wrestler of the Year, will look to defend his ROH Pure Championship as he takes on Dak Draper. The final title match that has been announced will see the Mexa Squad, that being Flamita, Bandito, and Ray Horace, take on Shane Taylor, Moses, and Khan. And more details have come out for the NWA's return to pay-per-view Back for the Attack, as Nick Aldis will defend the NWA World Heavyweight Championship against Aaron the Idol Stevens. Now going back to Japan, because you know your boy loves a little bit of Puro, Pro Wrestling Noah held their Great Voyage in Fukuoka event, as all-time great Keiji Muto defended the GHC Heavyweight Championship against Kaito Kiyomiya. While I do love both men, this match featured a horrendous back elbow from Keiji Muto, but we will not criticize him, for he is a legend and he demands respect. And meanwhile, in DDT, if you thought AEW's exploding barbed wire deathmatch was crazy, this company held a barbed wire casket deathmatch for the DDT Extreme Championship, where Chris Brooks defeated Shunma Katsumata to win the title. Your move, AEW. And finally, I missed a major event last week covering the week of pro wrestling, and it was pointed out to me on Twitter, so thank you very much. Stardom held their 10th anniversary show, and it was fantastic. If you have ever wanted to get into watching Stardom, Japanese wrestling, women's wrestling, anything like that, you need to watch this show. The main event was one of the best matches of the whole year, as Tam Nakano took on Giulia in a hair versus hair match for the Wonder of Stardom title. I can't recommend this show enough. If you truly want to get into watching more women's wrestling, this is must-see viewing. And that just about wraps it up for me for another week. And now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go get ready for Tempest's Temptations.
It's Fastlane on Sunday, which means today is Fastlane Predictions Day. Press the video on the right to watch those over on the WrestleTalk podcast channel. Don't forget to do your predictions for Fastlane on Wrestle League as well. And to find out more about the latest COVID outbreak in WWE, press the video below that. Don't forget to subscribe here for daily wrestling news videos. I've been Corporate Chopper. Jam that jam.